Forecasting methods of mostly clearing process on the background of continuous adjustment of power market supply and demand. Abstract the monthly clearing process of forecasting method is completely used. The metal input is used to construct a monthly electricity clearing process data. The collected electricity monthly clearing process time series characteristics are too single, resulting in a large averaging absolute percentage error of the monthly clearing process forecast. For this reason, propose a method for forecasting monthly clearing process in the context of the continuous adjustment of supply and demand in the electricity market. To study the impact of the continuous adjustment of power market supply and demand on the monthly clearing process, design the electricity monthly clearing process forecasting process, and use the normalization method to pre-process the date, extract time information, and load. One introduction, the traditional system of the power industry is a vertical monopoly, integrating generation, transmission, distribution, and supply. This system played an indispensable role in the initial stage of power development. It not only improved the efficiency of regional grid planning, but also benefited the internal power system coordination and cooperation. With the rapid development of the socialist economy, various problems in this system have become increasingly prominent, such as the slow development of power companies, broad personal and organizations, high electricity prices, and poor survival profit. In order to survive the shortcomings of traditional methods, these people design a new monthly clearing process forecasting method under the ground of consistent adjustment of supply and demand in the electricity market. In this method, the monthly settlement process protection process is designed according to the influence of constant adjustment of supply and demand on the monthly settlement process. Then the normalization method is used to process the date and extract the time information and load information so as to construct the training sample set of monthly settlement electricity process. On this basis, using the non-linear mapping relationship between the process of electricity and the influential factors, the BP nature network is used to establish the monthly clear process prediction model. To forecasting method of monthly clearing process under the background of continuous adjustment of power market supply and demand. Market factors. It mainly includes the interim history load of the power market, the load rate of the system, overcapacity or shortage, and the history reserve of energy. Rhythm uncertainties mainly including production outage line and emergency line blockage. For example, some power plants are far away from consumers and transmission requires corresponding network facilities. There will be some physical factors like hiding the energy training of market participants. Based on the above analysis, there are 5 main factors like cause, process, location. 1. Electricity demand. An important factor of the spot prices is the total demand of the system. 2. Is the weather conditions. The power demand depends on the environmental conditions, especially the dialing temperature. Weather fluctuations will affect demand, so spot process will also be affected. 3. Fuel process. Fuel cost is one of the main points of power generation cost, and its changes have a significant impact on the spot process of electricity. 4. Available transmission capacity. Electricity is generally processed by generations far away from consumers. It is sent to consumers through the transmission network facility. If there are some physical constraints on the transmission network, it will become an obstacle for market participants to buy or sell energy. This will affect the changes in support process of electricity clearing prestige. Changes in electricity process are affected by various factors, so the time series of electricity process are almost always non-stational and non-linear. If some data processing technologies are usually used before prediction to reduce some data fluctuations, and then a prediction mode is constructed on the processed date. The final production accuracy is often higher than that of direct prediction. At present, the data processing technology used in the field of electricity process forecasting mainly includes normalization technology. Since the electricity power mode of the power system reflects the nonlinear mapping relationship between the electricity process and the very influencing factors, the TPP network is a multi-layer, non-linear mapping network that uses the minimum mean square error learning method to minimize its evaluation function. Complete the mapping of input assigned to output mode. It can realize the complex and highly nonlinear mapping for complex type of pattern recognition tools, and the TPP neural network is used to predict the mostly clearing process of electricity under the background of the continuous adjustment of supply and demand in the electricity market. Conclusion: This study fully analyzed the impact of the constant adjustment of supply and demand on the electricity price in the electricity market, and used the time information and load information to construct the training symbol of monthly settlement electricity process, thus combining with the BP natural network to complete the prediction of the monthly clearing process. The prediction occurrence of this method is high, and the variance absolute percentage error of the prediction result is obviously less than that of the traditional method, which process light is suitable for popularization and application.